Welcome to Don't Drop the Ball, the podcast where we dive into the dynamic world of influencer marketing, celebrity management, and the industry as a whole. My name is Dean. I'm the Senior Talent Executive for Ball Management.
Then my name's Nathan. I'm the founder and director.
Is that it?
That's it, done. That's the introduction, Niles.
So not only that, we are also going to discuss the latest trends in social media. We will have celebrity guests here, especially our roster. We do house around 31 creators now, isn't it?
I think we had 33. We've now got, I think, maximum 30.
And obviously, you know, we're all about keeping the conversation lively and upbeat as well during this podcast. We are super, super excited.
I'm not excited at all. I'm dead nervous.
Well, yeah, we do expect, or we will have guests on, won't we?
I think it's all about a platform to showcase, obviously, ball in itself. And I think the saying, don't drop the ball, we're obviously going to dive into what that means, because I think the common thing that people misconceive is obviously the name of the agency and what that means in general. So
people are like, what does ball mean?
But obviously, if you're a Scouser and you're from Liverpool, you understand fully what ball means, because literally it is to have an absolute ball.
And obviously don't drop the ball.
But I mean,
means...
majority of our competitors, a majority of our agencies that we are competing against, which I am absolutely made up with, are London agencies and are Southern agencies. So when you do meet Southern agencies, are like, sorry, what does ball mean? I'm like, do you not have a ball in London? Do you have a terrible time in London?
I think it's quite a common term, though, surely, because I know the going to the ball type of thing is obviously known worldwide, and that in a sense is...
No, but imagine somebody coming into the agency thinking it's going to like a full-on glam, full glitz and glam ball, and then they walk into our small 500 square feet office with Molly and Morgan, they're like, clap.
But obviously the meaning of the ball itself is like, the ball is grand and it's kind of like about having a good time.
No, I think I'm just going to make it about me here. It's all about me.
Well, do you know what? It's not just about you.
There's a second involved. Now, I personally, where I come up with the term ball is I got named Nathan Ball Bridson, which is quite embarrassing, but it wasn't a club. It's because I used to go out. Yeah, well, that's my Instagram handle. That was an esteemed name by another friend, but it's because I used to go out 24/7, absolutely every day of the week. And I think somebody come up to me in Navy and said, which is a bar in Liverpool, you're Nathan Ball Bridson, aren't you? So I nearly fell off. Well, I wasn't sitting down at the point and my jaw hit the floor.
And then I think, obviously, because we've called the podcast Don't Drop the Ball, obviously to drop the ball means to make a mistake or do something wrong.
And you've made plenty.
I'm making one right now.
This podcast is a mistake. Can you help me? Can I get out of here?
So obviously we just thought, don't drop the ball. It ties in well. And yeah, we'll try and keep it relative as much as possible, really.
Can you explain a time when you did drop the ball? Because obviously you've been with us for 3 years, so there must be some mistakes along the way. I mean, I can name plenty, but I'm not going to air them out on the camera.
You're like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, I've got a full book. Boots, mummy, yes.
Obviously, yeah, there has definitely been a few when I first started. One that jumps to mind is, remember when we well, I got too excited by the look of this profile.
Was this the time when I was on holiday?
Was you on holiday?
Yeah, I was in Tenerife.
Yeah, absolutely on the sun lounge.
Absolutely on the sun lounge. SPF'd up to the gods.
You're like, yes, darling, what do you want now?
Yes, darling, I'm just about to order an Aperol Spritz. What do you want?
So, obviously, I got really excited by this creator. Obviously, not mentioning any sort of names.
As you do when you see a profile.
The following looked really good, and you know, I thought his content was nice, and I still was kind of like figuring out what is really good to look for and what you should maybe try and avoid.
Still figuring out how to do some due diligence. Due diligence.
Exactly, yeah.
It's a proper a little tongue twister.
So, yeah, and then obviously I had the call with him. I signed him, obviously.
Signed without doing any check-in, any validation.
Didn't check the...
done the announcement on that day.
Didn't check their insights, because obviously, as you know, when you are like an influencer or you've got like a creator or business profile, you need to look at the insights to see like how the audience is responding to them.
So can I chime in? Did it not like sink in, or did you not get rage and anxiety when you asked to see his story insights and he just refused to send them?
Yeah.
Because he refused to send them for like a good week.
It took us like it took me a few times to like get them insights over, and it just seems bizarre to me now, because now I would never do that. Do you know what I mean? We know how.
And now said creator is probably on like 1.5 million.
And they should be on about 200.
They should be on about 50k.
Not even that. And when the story reach come through, which
They were-
obviously the profile was quite a large
Well, we
one.
assumed, obviously, we can't make any accusations on this pod because
Oh,
the
no,
people
it's
that we
pretty much
talk about,
fact.
the people that we talk about, it's literally not to offend. It's just common situations that happened in business.
Yeah.
But when they come over, they were like doctored. So obviously, we receive stats every day from talent. From talent. And we know, and we know exactly what they look like. And these come over, and they were like, no, they're not
Yeah.
right. Can't have them.
It was like
They had like
it was
odd digits and everything in.
yeah. It just didn't make sense. So obviously you get into the whole rhythm and you get to see a lot of people's insights. So
it's
you
day
understand.
to day, isn't it? Every day you receive so obviously day to day we go through. Well, I don't. Well, I do sometimes, but just day to day, a typical brand deal, you'd get like a 7-day, 30-day clicks, and then 7-day, 30-day views and reach, and you just that just becomes like second nature
Yeah.
to you. You know what you're looking at, you know what you're looking for, but obviously it's not your fault. I think sometimes when you see a big profile, you do get overexcited, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh my god, it's a big sign.
Yeah.
So Adidas entertained him, didn't they, when you sent an outreach? Because
Yeah.
obviously when you do get a new talent, you just sweep round your brand roster, and we've got about 150 brands. Lol.
More than that.
Well, the
About
last time
150 brands, babe.
the last time I looked,
the last time you actually got a club. Yes.
I'm due to sign a big, huge book deal, darling. It
It's a
wouldn't come for
joke.
me, Mummy Escort. You're the big outer
You're
circle.
like, don't keep that in.
Cut that out. I do my job every now and then. Let me finish my point.
Go
So
on.
yeah, obviously we had Adidas involved, and then obviously when I think another talent manager that we're very fond with, we're not going to mention the name, it's down in London. She's got ginger. She mentioned straight away, is it such and such and such and such, and she knew them by name, and she was like, no, they've approached us, it's fake.
And I was like,
And obviously I instantly went, pull the contract, reading the clause, because obviously you had read the commercial representation contract, but I was like, pull a clause where you just say, listen, we can terminate you immediately because you've breached the contract by buying your following. Mistakes like that happen in business, and I just find it comical because obviously from mistakes like that, you grow, you learn,
yeah.
and you just adapt.
And I think since then as well, sorry to interrupt, I do think since then,
Rude.
I have took on some of the biggest creators that we've got on our books, I think.
Made up with
just
himself.
picking myself up a little bit. and just trying to
Absolutely
pull
made
that
up
back
with
in.
himself. Absolutely just had to get that in.
I'm like,
No, it's down to the team, and it's down to
Yeah.
all of us involved. It's down to the team that I carefully curated. Everything always circles back to me. No, but isn't that funny though? I'll always take credit for something that I haven't even done.
oh yeah, you do. It's like, I don't know, anything in life, not even just work, like anything, you're like, oh yeah, I told them to tell you that, or I told them to do that for you. I could have been like, I don't know, I've been told something amazing by
Like one of our best friends. I'm
One
like,
of
oh
me-
yeah, I told to tell you that.
one of my uncles that like I've never seen before or something, and Nathan's like, oh yeah, I actually got in contact with him and told him.
I actually like messaged him like an hour before and said, say that to you, feel fab. But honestly, obviously, because I've been doing this for 5 years, and I think the thing with talent management, what people don't understand is it's quite a rocky road, and it's quite a hard road to navigate because you are really navigating. Say, for example, if we've got 30 talents, we're carving and navigating 30 careers, which is done by carefully strategizing, creating vision boards. And like some people's visions can be absolutely up here. Got 30 talents, you have to carefully strategize and create vision boards, but some talent can have visions that are absolutely astronomically up here. I mean, I'd never ever say don't trust in yourself and don't believe in yourself, because I mean, when I was sat at my kitchen table starting Ball Social, it was at the time, I never thought for 3 seconds 3 seconds because I got ADHD. I never thought for 3 milliseconds that it would ever be where it is now.
No, and
See-
I didn't either as well. Like,
Everyone thought it'd just be absolute shit show.
but not that I didn't believe in you, because
No one believed in me.
No, because I absolutely do though. And you obviously have done an absolutely sensational job, and I always tell you that.
77.
Yeah, I think just because around about that time in life, and obviously this is relating to exactly what you've just been talking about, that you were balling a lot, partying, weren't you?
Yeah.
So that's why I think that people didn't think that you would, but then you've
I
just been
think
like,
when it come from the name Ball, and I was going out a lot, I think people didn't resonate the fact that it would be taken seriously
Yeah.
by me. I had a reputation for going out a lot, which I did do. I used to be in the Boudoir on a Tuesday, which
Yeah.
is a local gay bar in Liverpool.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Literally, as that girl fully quoted me, boots mummy, yes. Can't do that. But yeah, so it didn't resonate with people when I actually started Ball. And then I think it didn't resonate with me till about year 2 when it started to get serious. I think year 1,
When I started.
I had 15 creators on my own when I first started. It was Ball Social, and obviously quickly it went into Ball Management when I rebranded twice. And then hired you. That's when it got serious. But then to train you to do what I do,
Yeah.
I'm not a teacher, so I've never been a teacher, and I haven't got somebody to teach you. So I had to sit you in my living room at one point when we didn't have an office and just sit and go, right, guys, here's a PowerPoint
Do you
presentation.
remember that
Oh,
though? Honestly,
Yeah.
the journey that we've been on, we literally sat in Nathan's living room and I think you had the notes up on your phone, didn't you? But you put it on your laptop on the
No, I
TV
built
screen.
a full-blown PowerPoint presentation. Took me days.
I mean, yeah,
I mean,
we went through the whole. Basically, he thought
stats
that the
and-
training program was just to be completed in 24 hours.
yeah, you will be trained up in 24 hours. Go.
And that's why I was making mistakes.
No, which is not clever enough.
But it's
And
a learning
then-
progress, talent management, isn't it?
No, we literally went. So I went from my kitchen table, then to my spare room, my flat. Then from my spare room, my flat got rebranded to Ball Management. Then we hired Dean, and then went from my spare room to my living room because she couldn't fit in the box room. Then went from my box room to Steve's work in the back,
Yeah.
which was horrific, in the back of a salon.
The back of a salon, but we got some free treatments, didn't we? I think.
Yeah, got some free
Balling.
goodies, but I mean that was even worse for my ADHD to be in a different business, to be a business inside a business.
Yeah.
When a business is growing and you need I got overstimulated and made several mistakes.
Remember when you broke the shutter outside Harwood?
And then I quickly realised that obviously the Ball, I stopped going out. I stopped sort of partying as much. She's still there. She's still rogue, but she's not as rogue as what she used to be.
Yeah.
And so it sort of took over then. And then that's when it resonated with people and talent that we were there to stay and we're not just there to just play and just mess around. That's when it got sort of serious. And then it was me and you in the office. And I just found it hard just to be in like a 24-hour, well, an 8-hour environment with someone day in, day out, very close proximity.
Yeah,
when
and just the
someone
two of us as well. That's what I was going to say. The thing about you as well is that even though you've been phenomenal, you obviously don't have patience. Whereas
No.
I come from like a training background, so I used to do physical training for another company. So like, I've got that, and I think that's why I come in handy now with the new starters. Don't I?
What did you guys?
Oh my god! So I just got stuck on my phone. So yeah, so then I come from like a training background, and I think that's what comes in handy right now when we get new starters. You know,
Yeah.
I develop like that training program for them, don't I? But yeah, at the beginning, I thought it was dead difficult. Even though we've grew like family now, I think like I would call you a brother now.
yeah.
Or should we say sister?
Say sister's boots, mummy has gone.
But at first
Yeah.
it was hard. But you know, we all get through our little hurdles, don't we?
But I think I've dropped the ball more than once. I think when you start a business, it's really, really hard, especially when you're on your own. So I started in my mum's, and I think the most weirdest time for me was when I dropped the ball in my mum's. And like it was literally 3 months into business. Now, this wasn't Ball Management, it was Ball Social. And I think it's a common, well, it's not common, but it was all the well-known agencies. For example, I used their talent for a brand, and just to put it simple, the brand didn't pay up front. And then all the promotions went live. And then when the promotions went live and then the bill needed paying, they just kept sending me this fake pay slip. And I can honestly say the fear of God when it was like 15 to 18,000 pounds, but they wanted to book like Demi Rose Morby, which she was like 15 grand in herself for what they wanted.
Was
So,
she? Yeah.
yeah, so it was going to be like
30
35
grand.
grand in total, which would have bankrupted the company before it's even begun.
Yeah.
So I think the reason this pod resonates with me, because I think what people are sometimes ashamed of doing is admitting the mistakes, because they think, oh, we're in this world now, obviously with influence in the digital age, which is obviously what this pod's about. We spoke about ourselves. I think people are too scared of being imperfect,
Yeah.
whereas I can honestly say from the bottom of my heart, my mistakes have made me it sounds that cheesy, my mistakes have made me more of the founder and the director that I am today, because when you make them once, you're definitely not going to make them again.
Exactly.
So when I got like absolutely rinsed to 15 grand, I had to get, that's when I got introduced to Tom from Fletcher's, which is now my lawyer, which I've had an esteemed relationship with now for 3 years, and he's had many legal battles or many legal
Without
queries with
mentioning
me.
too many details.
No, not mentioning too many details, but I'm in one at the minute. But you sort of, I sort of found, I sort of quickly found my feet then. So once we had Fletcher's, well, I didn't get to use Fletcher's at first. I had to use Manly's because it was a conflict of interest because every person I was going against was with Fletcher's.
Yeah.
But then Tom went, when you do actually get out of this, if you do get past it, you can use us. And then that's when it become from Ball Social. And then I think I cried for like a whole 48 hours because I didn't know what to do. And I'm not ashamed of that. I cried, sat in my mum's chair, just sobbed.
Well, it's emotional, isn't it? Like
it's £15,000 when you've got nothing.
Exactly, yeah. So it's completely understandable.
So
I'll be on the floor.
Yeah, well, I was kicking and screaming. But at the time, my mum and dad didn't have that money. And then I think I got bailed out after I'd paid it back myself because I just kept grinding and grinding and grinding. And then as I was grinding, I was getting back into it because it was like, it was weird. It was just that sort of money didn't leave me for like a good year or two. And then I borrowed it, paid it, and then it went then. And then that's when sort of Ball Management, I got rebranded as Ball Management and it sort of kicked in for me. So that's my biggest mistake and that's me end of my novel.
You realised then you were talking loads.
Yeah.
You're like, shit, let me cut this short.
Right, so we're just going to go into the evolution of talent management. Might be quite boring, but our personalities don't make it. So a lot of people don't know that talent managers and everything that we do is literally like, it's been from like dinosaur days. So Hollywood, so Marilyn Monroe's talent agency, WME, is still about now. And they just took on Uma. So that was quite an iconic move, especially from a Love Islander to come off such a reality show to straight away go into such a big powerhouse of a talent management agency. So I think it's quite fun where talent management's gone now because I think I was in it, I think it's 2016. I don't want to show my age on camera, but I think 2016, 2017, I was working in Misfits, which is my first taste of it. And then it was more structured where it was like press. And it was still in the back end. Like people were still trying to align whether, because obviously what it is now is the digital age where you've got all these TikTok talents that can't get digital press and media because the publicists are still in the same mind frame of you need a narrative in the press to carve and then you go for it. But now people like the evolution of social media is you get organic press pickup, you get TikTok talent obviously having their own community and sharing their own community, which I think is brilliant. So you can't really share. Well, you can run a piece on a digital TikToker, but it's nothing they haven't really divulged in the TikTok profile. So when you have like, is it Gen Alpha now? It's like, it's not a Gen Z anymore. It's a Gen Alpha.
I think it's Gen Alpha, yeah.
I think it might be younger though, because I still think
Probably
2015 was yesterday.
Yeah.
We're going into 2025. So I think where it's going to go is obviously digital talent, like the likes of GK Barry is absolutely iconic. I think she's phenomenally leading that new generation. And then you still have your Love Islanders that still obviously want to have the traditional route where TV don't want the traditional route because you have like, I think it's funny for me as a talent manager because you have like household names, which is like the likes of Gemma Collins, Joey Essex, the really like big names, and Mark Wright from years ago that made it
all
from like
Towie.
All from Towie, but made it from like the OG season one, and then they've been on every reality show.
It's one of the first reality shows, weren't it, really?
I always go back to GK Barry's career because it's moving somebody from this TikTok platform, then into media, then into mainstream. So I think that's been done really well. But obviously I think because she's so funny and she's got a niche, which is comedy, and she's just so real and raw, I think like us, like raw.
Raw looking.
Raw. You're ugly looking. I think the evolution of talent management now was stuck between the traditional press route where, say, for example, I'm having a baby or I'm getting married. You run a piece on that and they get paid a fee.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near what it was years ago when like Katie Price got paid the big 5-figure sum. Well, obviously I'm not going to out people's fees, but you get paid a lot less for pieces because even, say, for example, when something happens on someone's social media, they organically show it. So say, for example, if there's like a death or a baby, if you're a press officer or a publicist, you'd have to quickly say to your talent, don't share that because we can get a fee on it. Or we can get that shared in the media or we can get a cover on it. It's still exposure at the end of the day, but it's not as valuable as what it was when you used to walk into the Tesco and pick up like Heat or...
Well...
What is it? New magazine?
Well, I know, because if you think back to Katie Price, though, when she went in the jungle and that whole love story between her and Peter was so interesting at the time.
And raw again.
And raw, because, you know, that sort of like romance had never been seen on TV before because obviously I'm a Celeb was like huge back then. It still is. But I think
I
that
think people are
the
just
interest
too.
has been like lost because there's multiple love stories now on reality
And I think
TV.
people are too like obsessed with the drama. I know I love the gossip and the jangle, but I think reality TV just is just the narrative now is more just, oh, what storyline can you do or what? And it's so obviously because we've had COVID, which did a lot of restrictions. It changed a lot of rules and regulations. So reality become a lot stricter. You can't really connect them to the press. And that's where there's that massive gap now where the press are like, well, what do we do? Do we still run stories on like reality stars and do we still keep going there? Or do they do what talent managers have done like me or founders have done like what teams of different agencies have moved with the
Yeah.
times. And I think any agency that's like Love Island agencies and stuff like that, they still get bookings, of course they will, or Love Island will always still be busy, but they have that good 6 months and then it's like, meh.
Yeah. Well, here's a question for you. Do you think that eventually reality TV as a whole will completely die out?
No, I think it'll get more interesting because I think your typical reality star, I think they'll start casting different May. I think they'll start going for like TikTokers because I think
Yeah.
moving forward, I think a lot more TikTok talent will move more into mainstream and they'll become your celebrities rather than just, and it sounds dead nasty, but it's rather than, I don't know how to word it without offending. It's rather than just getting somebody who's got zero personality, putting them on a show, boosting them to a huge platform, and then expecting them to perform.
That's what I think is really bad about reality TV, that if you don't do well on the TV show, it's so hard for you to then be able to push through that narrative and create, you know, your own future, pretty much, especially on
Well,
socials.
they don't create the future. The right talent manager does, and they've got to carve a narrative for somebody who
Yeah,
can't
but
carve a
sometimes,
narrative.
obviously, as we know, if the audience just do not resonate with this person because of their behavior on a certain show, it is extremely hard to fix that. But it can be done, obviously.
100%.
I just think personally that it will eventually potentially die out, but it'll move towards more, say, for example, if there was this huge house and just all digital creators came together
just lash them all in.
and went in there, and then the
There's an idea.
series is actually the series is actually on, you know, each other's
Because
phone.
the circle's good, like, but the circle again is just randoms. Like they're not, unless it's a celebrity circle, if that's even thing. The circle's good because that's just like a social media experiment. I think it'll move towards experiments to people's personalities so you can connect with the community.
Molly May, like I adore. Like I just think that she's just absolutely unbelievable. Everything that she has physically done and been through. But I remember she's the one that stands out to me when this whole edit thing become
because
popular and
personally because she made the time to sit and invest in what brand she wanted to do. So I think that's what my point was, because obviously I go off on several million tangents when I'm trying to get a point out. I think if you sit and look what's in front of you and sit and analyze what brands are approaching you, what brands are interested, what brands want to work with you, and say, well, I've never used that, so wipe that. If I keep saying personally, that's the word of the week. If it was me and I would just want a show and I got presented with like 5 offers from brands, I would go, right, well, I've never used that. I've never used that. Because I think it resonates better if you've actually wore the clothing, because people can go back through your feed, even though you can delete many pictures or archive them. People can go back through your feed and go, well, you never wore that on the show, or you've never mentioned that. I think really random edits don't work. So I think the famous one from Love Island history is the O'Polly edit, where I think it was the first 7-figure deal and they put all the money into it. I don't know whether they forward planned. I think that's a lot of money to put into a Love Island debt, and didn't forward plan the return of investment. And the return of investment within 6 months was shocking. So that near bankrupt the company. They had to close offices and make staff redundant. And the brand that they worked on for years had suddenly just been kapoof.
Well, their office was on the Whittle, weren't it? And then it moved.
Because I think they put so much money into it, and obviously the contract got cancelled after 6 months, which obviously must have been a massive blow for the talent itself who had the idea. But I just think it's all about when you do stuff like it's got to resonate with your audience. If it doesn't resonate, it's not going to sell. And obviously it didn't sell. That's why they didn't make that huge profit that they wanted to do. Whereas Molly Mays, the second she waited so long and then launched a PLT edit, and then not only launched a PLT edit, further on like edit 5 or something, when it was working so well, become the creative director because she wanted so much involvement with the brand. that is like, that goes down in history to work really well because it just doesn't look like the random alignment. Oh, I've never wore a Pretty Little Thing, but I've just signed to a 5-figure deal and
I
I'm going to
reckon
wear it every day.
she definitely helped like the substantial success of PLT as a whole, because I think a lot of fast fashion brands like Missguided, for example.
Well, she didn't get invited to the
go
wedding, did
downhill,
she, when
don't
she
they?
launched her own brand?
You are?
She didn't get invited to the owner's wedding when she launched her own brand.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So
Well, maybe
that's-
because she obviously called it a day with PLT, so I think it was
You still
after
remain
that, weren't
friends,
it?
don't you? But I think it's a big topic now. People were like, "Oh, she wasn't at the wedding because they
Oh,
were."
I reckon Molly, though, she'd just be like, I'm not going. Because obviously during this time, she's only just had the baby. She's obviously going through a lot. I think it was maybe the...
Or PLT are
round
like,
the breakup.
maybe that's big competition.
Yeah. I
It
know,
would
it
be
sells
though.
out dead quick. You know, I keep going on the website because I'm just dead interested. And I'm like, can't
Because you
believe
love
how-
a little scuba number.
I always watch her YouTube videos because I do think that we are in that industry and she's one of the top dogs. So I like to analyse, do you know what I mean? And to see what she's doing.
Fab, well done.
You're like, good for doing your job.
I know, well done, Poots. Talents are just humans at the end of the day, and when you do get into a crisis, it is in the public eye. So it's that when somebody passes away, or you lose a baby, or I don't know, you have absolute merge with someone when you're rotten in a bar.
Which you do all the time.
Which I do every week. I love
Just
drama. Even just normal drama on social media, like comments can just spiral and whirlwind, and it can just turn into something different. You can have a
Yeah.
press pickup, and or you allegedly get in trouble with the law. Anything from it can range from anything. I think as a really good talent manager, you're not only just a talent manager or a founder or a boss. You're also a counsellor, and you also have to act really quickly because the bigger the profile, the more the press whirlwind. And in some instincts, it's best to keep quiet, but sometimes you can make things die really quickly if you've got the right lawyer. And I think that's what's most important about when it does happen. Reassuring them that it's going to be okay, reassuring them that it's going to be yesterday's chip paper the next day, and just reassuring them to be quiet. Because sometimes, even though you want to have your opinion, if you have your opinion, it snowballs into something a lot bigger. And if you are a mouth like me, I'd be terrible. Me, I'd be like, what?
Yeah, I was.
Who are you talking to? What'd you say in the press?
And because we're such like open books as well, I'd end up telling everyone everything. Do you know
yeah,
what I
I'd
mean?
have
So
a
if a
bevy, but
journalist came
guess
to my
what?
door and went, so what's up? I'd be like, well, come in.
Like years ago when they have like big cameras outside. So what happened yesterday? Can you comment? Well, have you got 5 minutes? I'd be like, do you want a cup of coffee and come in? I'd have a bevy and a glass of wine, like one of them like big
In your
house
robe.
coats. Yeah, big like
Do you call
Austin-
it a house coat?
No, I mean like the one. Have you seen Austin Powers where she's a fembot and she's got like that pink robe on with all like
You know, I don't remember
boring.
films. Oh, we love
Anyway, I'd have
films.
like a proper lingerie on and a bra knickers. I would come in. Have you got 5 minutes? Come into my esteemed boudoir. I'll tell you everything.
Right,
No,
back to
I
the
just
question.
think, no, after I've answered the question, it's just really important just to obviously have the right PR to kill any story that needs killing. And it's called a certain term, but I don't know it off the top of my head. But you can force something to kill a story if it's not true.
Well, you did it for a person in particular, didn't
Boots
you?
my yes, God. I
Yeah.
killed 3 stories. Costs money, like, but at the end of the day, if it's not true and you're putting something in the press and out there that's not true, anything, the famous saying that I've always known is anything once it becomes in black and white and in writing, it's true. And that's the same for any celebrity or any person in general. If you write something or you write something ill of someone, even on social media in a comment,
Yeah.
it becomes true. That's why trolls are so minty. When it comes to commenting on people's social media, because they can comment something that's happened and then people will just instantly believe it's true. So when you see like a negative comment on somewhere, you'd have like 50 comments underneath it where people are like, really? It's really happened? Not my celebrity that I fully follow and value. So I think it's just important about just staying calm, keeping quiet, and just utilizing utilizing your skills basically, and who you've got beside you, just to absolutely make it go away. And then you do a huge brand deal the next day to distract everyone.
Yeah.
Shiny things, shiny things, shiny things.
The media is so bad at doing stuff like that, though, isn't it? Obviously, we won't go
Everyone
into
does
that.
it.
But
Like the way you can get rid of something is a shiny thing. Everyone's like a magpie.
Yeah.
I see in my head that like as in this industry, everyone is like a magpie. So say for example, if something really bad happens, then straight away go, oh, well, I'm just going to give to the homeless. That's distraction. Or, oh, I've just seen this. I'm just going to do a giveaway. Or I know this is probably exposing people, but when you give back, it distracts from the negative. So
well, the whole like P Diddy thing and Jay-Z, obviously we're not going to go into that, but like
I haven't got enough time in the world.
that within itself, there's so many distractions now happening within different parts of the world, and people do believe it's a conspiracy. People do believe that that is to distract. The media are just brilliant at it, aren't they?
Well, you've got to, because you don't want, I think this is that like mundane and boring. You've got to distract because you don't want to cause chaos. So when you cause chaos, you cause mass panic. And then when you cause mass panic, people start kicking off and then like you lose control of the country. So
Well,
that's
yeah, 'cause
why
if an
all
a-
the media distract all the time.
If an
Because
alien landed here or in the
they
middle,
distract them from it because everyone are just, well, you're an alien right now with me. But
I love aliens.
You are one. It literally is about being a good. Anything in the media is about
A good
distracting
alien.
with shiny things. It is because the BBC and people don't believe the news, but the news is just informative
Yeah.
and it's only certain
True.
bits that you want to tell you.
yeah,
And there's a famous thing that people say the government tell you certain things, certain narratives. Yeah, of course, because it's an economy and it's a world that we live in and we've got to have certain structure to the world in order for it to go ahead and people to go to work. If everyone knew everything and everyone was hippies or taking all kinds of mushrooms and doing nothing,
Yeah.
do you think there'd be a world that we'd live in
well,
with
you know what
food?
they say as well. Don't believe everything you read, because
I
that
don't
is
watch
so
anything.
cliche, but it's just so true.
And the difference between reality, digital, and I think what we're homing in on now is family creators, because I think we've got a gap in the market where people didn't realize how much of a community
Profitable
family
as well.
profitable. Just getting that right in there, profitable. No, I think people didn't realize what dynamic community family creators have built. Because obviously, prime example is that Brayley family that we've just signed. Like they started off at like something stupid like 10 or 20k. Well, obviously not that they started off on, but like they've elevated within like a week to like 45k, and like now they're up to like 46 within a day. And they're just going up and up, and their reels are within the millions on such a small account.
Yeah,
And it's literally because the little girl hangs around with
Blossom, I think her name is.
Blossom hangs around with chickens, and they've got a chicken coop, and like that's just not normal for like normal people to have in this day and age.
So
And
again, it's kind of like
it's
a niche.
It's a
yeah.
niche within a niche, and it's just funny because she just grabs the chickens, washes them, bathes them, just puts them in a dungarees, and it's something that people haven't seen. And I think that's what people are used to seeing, this boring dynamic reality. Oh, I'm promoting this fake tan. Oh, I'm promoting this clothing. Like I am from the generation. I've never been celebrity endorsed to buy an outfit. I have been to
Haven't you?
no, I have been to buy products like skincare or like
Oh, I have.
yeah.
But you haven't got style, have you?
I mean, that Christmas jumper says otherwise.
Yeah, I like this top.
Pussy, pussy, kitty, catty, meow, meow.
Well, you love cats, so that's why I wore it.
Oh, it doesn't look like
Um,
Halston. It looks like some moody black and white
No, but I
Tom.
think that's dead. I think that's dead mad though, that you've never looked at an outfit on someone or a product, physical
No, just get
clothing
you to do it
product.
for me.
Yeah, I know. I'm like your personal stylist.
So,
I'm
yeah,
everything else.
personal stylist, driver, PA, senior talent executive, the list goes on.
Counselor,
Yeah.
therapist.
Everything.
Um,
HR, doing sickness policies.
It's just to be transparent with them as well. Like sometimes because obviously Nathan, you was new to this, like
Yeah.
creating your own business. So there is sometimes when we're like, we'll just sit there randomly because we both do go off on tangents anyway. And we go, shit, we haven't got, a sickness policy in place.
Well, I did put one in, but no one listened. But it wasn't like, I think it wasn't like put on a piece of paper. No,
Yeah.
I just remember things like I can remember fees from a talent booking from like 2015.
It's the bigger the team gets now and the more established and
Yeah.
profound the company gets. And
The
of
more
course, there's
professional you
gonna be-
get.
there's
I
gonna
think
be
I just
additional
winged it.
policies.
Fake it till you make it. So what do you think's more important? We're going to be short and sweet on this because we have absolutely divulged right into talent management. I bet you everyone's bored shitless. Probably not. What do you reckon's better, authenticity or persona?
Of course, you always have to be authentic, which is what we talked about today. But I think in order to be successful, you have to be a little bit dramatic enough, which
Yeah.
basically is creating a persona for yourself. And it's not a fake persona. It's just basically,
I think you've got to
um,
find the fine line between what got you famous
Yeah.
and what you got authentically famous for and what your
Mm.
niche is authentic for, and just don't get lost in a persona. Because I think it must be hard, because I know I got hired for a show, no former celebrity, but I got hired for a show in Ibiza, poached from my job for quite a hefty salary, poached from my job to move to Ibiza to travel across the world for a YouTube reality show. I'm not going to mention names because it doesn't deserve the airtime because it flopped majorly. But I got hired for my persona. So they met me for what people might not know about me. They met me to book They met me to book Kylie Chloe or Kim, because at the time the agency that I was working for had been to LA and had connections with the Kardashians and the Jenners.
That you were made up.
Oh, I was physically made up. Imagine the commission on that, and I was on a commission booking. So I'd got commission, but it wasn't like the commission. So it was a higher commission than what I was on. So I skipped to the meeting. And I think what they learned were the differences from authentic and persona. Where I was too immature is I couldn't differentiate the two of whatever. I couldn't establish the difference between the two.
Yeah.
We'll just do that way. just to be a see you next Tuesday. I still hadn't established my, what is it? What did they say on RuPaul? Charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
Yeah.
I still hadn't established that. I was still a bit too immature to get to the point I couldn't harness in my authenticity of me persona. So I weren't funny when the camera come on.
Why do you think that was though?
Because I'm just funny off the court.
But I know, but you think that because you sometimes, like everyone, having a camera in front of your face affects your confidence.
Yeah, 100%.
So
I think you have to. I think if you've got no camera, if you've never had training or camera presence, if someone just lashes a camera in front of your place and goes perform like a monkey, you just go dead nervous. And obviously, if I've got rage and ADHD, the second I start to not make eye contact with something or like tell a joke that I don't find funny or do something wrong, I'll overthink that moment in my brain.
Same.
So I think where they hired me, they thought of just based on the Kylie Jenner meeting, they were putting £500,000 on the table. And I was like, right, okay, fab. And like, obviously I'd picked right up and obviously the Nathan show was on. I was doing my job. I was like obviously selling the Jenners. I'd never met them. I'd never worked with them, but I sold them like boots on my ass. God, they were sold. Took the idea back to the agency and it was a no because it just didn't work because they wanted to share within the company and blah, blah, blah. So they wanted to pay money, but also Kylie have a share within the business. Yeah. Kylie's not interested in something like that. My boss just went, no. But then obviously months later, they were like, can you come to anyway, a fancy restaurant in Liverpool, I can't remember the name of it, shut down now. And he just propositioned me with like, no. Propositioned me with a 5k figure for a big salary to travel to live in a £15 million villa. And it was all my dreams come at once. And then when you get there, and I think the difference, what I'm trying to get at is between authenticity and persona. My persona got me there.
Yeah.
Or my authenticity got me there because I was authentically funny in the meeting. I was like leading the crowd, but it was only an intimate meeting and it was something that I'm passionate about, which is a big, huge deal and loads of money. And obviously working with the Jenners and the Kardashians. Then to be put into an environment where I'm not passionate about being with 5 glamour girls in the blistering heat and like they're all doing the do because they were only fans girls. And obviously I'm a homosexual. Homosexuals, in my opinion, can do anything, but in that environment, I just couldn't do it. And I just
you lost your authenticity,
yeah,
basically.
I just couldn't harness my power whatsoever. So I'd like dread the next day. And I think I remember one point crying my eyes out because I wanted to go home, but the fee was worth it. And I was just thinking, I haven't come this far. I haven't left my job for nothing. And the thing with me is, I don't know whether you know, I will just push and push and push and push and push. I won't give up. And I think I tried to harness, like, I tried to mature and build on myself so much to harness both my persona and my authenticity to work together. So I think that's what GK Barry's done really well, because to just have Made with the Mirror and now be a TV personality and like a really big media star in mainstream is good, because she's now naturally funny just on telly. She was naturally funny on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, if it was Big Brother, people have said to me for years I'd be dead funny on it. But
you would be hilarious though.
Because they're just cameras that are just there and you can just be yourself. I think when I can just be myself, like now.
But again, no, it's quite interesting, really, an interesting subject, because it does come down to self-confidence or something, because, you know,
it's having that self-confidence
and not just about you,
just
about
goes,
everyone.
Yeah, it's having that confidence when they just go 3, 2, 1, action.
Perform,
and even it's not just me. I'm just using myself as an example. I'm not a narcissist. It's even RuPaul when they have the challenges, the maxi challenges and the mini challenges. The mini challenges, the queens find easy. And then the maxi challenges, it's very old school filming. At RuPaul, it's a big, huge camera, home and riding on them. And I think that's more to see who's got the confidence. And I think it's obviously what RuPaul says as well. It's more to harness your inner saboteur. If you let your inner saboteur get in the way when that camera's in front, then you haven't got the confidence yet, sis, to do that.
And I think
It comes at time.
I think, always putting on a persona, the anxiety eventually creeps in, and then, it doesn't
It's
kind
having
of
to
work.
wake up and just think, oh, I've got to put this persona on. Stay like, imagine if you couldn't be arsed. And like most days, my favourite saying is, I'm going to be arsed.
Well, like a perfect example though of someone who literally did only put on a persona and has recently been kind of like outed for it was Paris Hilton wearing it, because she put on a persona the whole time, and that was not authentically her. But it still worked.
But it was
because
iconic.
But it still worked because it was funny. So
The simple life's
a
coming back.
pure example is sometimes that it doesn't always
It doesn't.
not
It kind
work.
of not. It kind of. I think that's work. That's just because she's Paris fucking Hilton.
But then her voice is dead different. Her voice is quite deep.
No one knows.
like,
That's
"Hi,
that's why
babe."
she's put that on. Because she, hello. I'm Paris Hilton, bitch. No, it's like that's hot.
You've got to basically.
But Gottmik done that in RuPaul, didn't it? Did she or he? I don't know. She
gotta, like,
used the pronouns, but Gottmik. No, it's he, isn't it? Gottmik done
Yeah.
it, and he
Yeah.
done like hello. That's hot. Is the camera on?
Yeah, you've just got to kind of like elevate your own traits and talents in order to develop a persona that you can tap in and out of.
Just approach someone potentially meeting in Liverpool next week. I think I'm more going for larger names now because I want to get bigger allocations on telly and bigger, I don't know, just bigger
Well,
recognition.
obviously, we've already talked as well about certain names within the industry currently that we would really love to
Who
sign.
would be your fave to sign?
So I've got like two names in particular.
And by the way,
now.
we're not going to poach you. We're not going to sign.
No, of course we're not going to poach.
Just
So if the
opinion.
agency's watching this, like, don't worry, babe. I know you
But
should
if,
be
they come
threatened.
to, but if they come to us, I know you're threatened.
Obviously, I love Demi Jones, and I just
Yeah.
think
Why
that-
though?
because I
That's not
love
meant in a
her.
bad way.
No, I love her character and her
Yeah,
like
she's
what we were
quite
talking
camp,
about
isn't she?
before. The authenticity and persona. She's matched it quite perfectly. I
To her
find.
aesthetic.
Yeah. And I love the whole beauty side of things. We don't really have that many beauty creators, and I quite like that. And I do think that she's just gorgeous. So she'd be super exciting. And then, these aren't huge names, but like Kaz Crossley as well. I know she is she's quite a
See,
big
I'd
name.
like someone like Maddie Jepson, mate. I
Oh,
think
Maddie, yeah.
that
She-
would be iconic. I think she makes me absolutely
She's
hold the house down.
hilarious.
Someone like Luke Hammett and Maddie
Luke
Je-
Hammett.
Yeah, I think he's dead funny, mate.
I think he's funny, but
Watch your words, watch your words.
no, but it's an opinion.
No, I'm
If
joking.
like,
No,
it's
I mean that
wanted.
type of profile. What I want is a big comedic profile. Again, that
Well, I
plant's-
said that,
that's
didn't I?
plant's trying to steal me thunder. I want
Comedic.
somebody like Maddie Jepson. I think she's built her niche, and obviously her tour sold out in seconds. And I think she's just dead funny. And I think it'd be just dead fun to
hilarious.
manage someone like that. Same with the likes of GK Barrett, that sort of like narrative. Because
Or as well, sorry, just while it's in my head, the London Family, fab.
who's the London family?
Have you not seen them?
No.
remember the dancing video that I sent you, the
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
Wicked
yeah.
one where she's got the daughter in it. There's obviously a man and wife.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
a
Man and
family. a man and wife, and then the children. But they're huge. They've got like over 1 million followers, but their engagement's boss. They kind of like mix dance.
so would you say
with
it's
family.
like, I think when you're scouting, would you say it's more following or engagement you're looking for?
Oh, engagement, 1,000,000%. Obviously, the following sometimes is attractive, but then when you go on the real views and see-
following.
Yeah. And when you see their insights and stuff, then of course you then determine whether you want to go ahead with it or not.
Stunning.
But yeah, no, the London Family, Maddie Ray Jepson or whatever her name is, and Demi
Whatever her
Jones.
name is, man.
And Demi Jones.
Yeah.
Them three.
Absolute
But
mass on Demi Jones.
I think
I think
she's
I'd
fun.
like a big Love Island dad, but I think I'd like a Love Island with a purpose. Like Uma, like really gets me off because Uma has got like is really like that's why she's picked up by such a good agency. You like I think I obviously watch Love Island, but I think I only like get excited when it's a really big character. When someone
Yeah.
gives me main character vibes.
Like
but not
Maura. I love Maura actually. Maura
Yeah.
Higgins, she's fab.
But I just think when someone gives me main character vibes, but not ego, I don't like obviously everyone's got an ego, like including myself and
Yours
myself.
is up here. but-
Yeah. And then I get brought down to here. But I think when someone gives you main character vibes, but like humble. So I think in this industry, if you're humble and you're easy to manage and you've got the correct direction yourself, so when your
Yeah.
goals like align, like when your work ethic and your goals align with your management, then your dreams are just unstoppable.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, Gailies, we're going to wrap up Don't Drop the Ball this week. If there's anything that you've absolutely loved, please drop us a DM. And if there's anything that you want to hear, definitely drop us a DM. And make sure you like, subscribe to our YouTube, and obviously give us a quick follow. Because obviously... And then comment on the fact that Dean's a show.
By the way, we've actually got Christmas jumpers on.
Because it's Christmas jumper day. Go out. And then I'm just going to hand it over to Dean. But thanks so much for watching and listening. It's been a ball.
We've also got Tash Blake Ivy on next time as well, which is one of our family creators. So we're super, super excited about that. We will have guests now and then, as I said at the start of the pod. But yeah, it's been
emotional, to say the least.